Hey everybody, today we're talking about a great piece of kit to have when times get rough. We're doing an overnighter with it. Stick around. Tick, 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 boom. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. As you can tell, the weather's kind of inclement right now. It's coming down in sheets. Let's just say you went through, you did a really good game plan. You told somebody where you were going to be, what time to expect you back, but for one reason or another, you can't make it back. The sky's opened up. This could be a chance for either a survival situation or possibly inconvenient camping, however you want to call it. But either way, I'm not worried because I've got stuff up here, and more importantly, I've got the WG Bushkraft kit. We're going to go over what this is. We're going to survive with it all night long tonight. And instead of BSing a little bit, I'm going to get my shelter set up because it's coming down. I got to get a fire going and everything else. So stick around, guys. I got to do something to get out of the weather quick, fast, and in a hurry. And then I have to get a fire built. So first thing I'm going to do is I've got this log right here. I'm going to see if I can elevate it a little bit. I'm going to see if I can get some ribs, put something in there, start covering it over with some debris so I have some coverage for tonight. Now, the great thing about the WG Bushkraft kit is that it does have a bivvy in it, so I'm going to be okay as long as I get most of the rain shed off of me. So, hang around. I'm going to go over and start building. One of the best pieces of equipment, in my opinion, that comes in this WG kit is the chainsaw. Now guys, this is an actual chainsaw. This isn't one of those weak, wimpy little things. This is an actual chainsaw, and every single link is a saw, unlike a chainsaw where it's saw, tooth, tooth, saw, or rake, rake, saw. This, every single solitary link has a blade on it. So I'm going to get over here and start cutting this down a little bit and make it useful for me. So now I've got my basic rib work down. I don't need much. I just need enough to slide my skinny butt underneath to have a place to stay for the night. It's not the Taj Mahal. I don't need a place to work with overnight. I don't need a place to do arts and crafts with. I need a place for me to stay warm and dry, and that's what this is going to accomplish. So now I've got the main beam work up with larger logs. I'm going to take things like this, put it on top of that to form a lattice work that then I'm going to go ahead and fill on top with leaf debris, and that's going to pretty much keep all the rain off of it. You know what, guys? All this could have been avoided with one simple thing: a tarp. You know what? They're light, they're compact, they're easy to carry. If you are not carrying a tarp when you go out just for your every single day jaunts through the woods, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you. All right, let me bring you on over here, show you exactly what we got here, guys. So that's what we're looking at. As you can see, not very big at all, but it's enough room for me to get up under there and stay dry. So you've got these big thick logs, good to go. I put the greenery up on top of that. Now, all this leaf litter, I gotta go grab massive amounts of that, pile it up on top of here. No fancy tools needed, just a foot rake and a couple hands. I've got my shelter built. It's gonna pretty much perform its basic duty of getting me through the night, kind of dry, okay? It's got the ribs, it's got a lattice work of finer leaves and twigs, and then I piled probably about a good 4-5 inches of just leaf litter all the way down the entire thing. It's gonna keep me warm enough, it's gonna keep me dry enough. I'm soaking wet. I need to get a fire going so I can dry out, because even in 70 and 80 degree weather, hypothermia is possible. So I want to make sure that I can dry out and I can stay warm if I need to stay warm. So let's gather up some firewood and go from there. One thing we need for a wet weather fire is we need tinder, and we need it dry, and we need a lot of it. The other thing we need is a lot of smalls, and we need smaller kindling. When we're going to make a wet weather fire, we need to really baby these things because everything is so wet. So we really want to make sure that we have a nice big ball of tinder that we can get going. We want to make sure that we have more than enough kindling. We want to make sure that any fuel that we have, we could split down and get into the center of it. So with the knife that I have in the kit, I'm probably going to be stuck with something that's between 3, maybe 4 inches tops that I can baton down through and get to the center. But I got to get to the center. I got to split that wood in order to keep the fire at least going until I can put some of the wetter stuff on top. But the goal is to get it going. Now, I don't want to take too much from any one tree. There's several other cedars around here. I'm going to hit a lot of the other cedars, and I'm going to take and put all the tinder inside of my tinder bag here, which coincidentally is also the bag that the kit comes in. See that? This right here is a nice size tinder bundle for a survival fire. You don't want to mess around. You only have one shot. This is how big you want it, at least. And this is the size of a small cantaloupe. Now the other thing is it is still damp, so I'm going to work it up a little bit here. It's getting dark real quick. We have another front coming in on us. So I am going to work this up, get it dried out a little bit, and then we're going to go over there and get this fire going while I collect more firewood for tonight. This one's for you, Corporal. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. Alright guys, it is pouring down rain. I took my wood and I put it up underneath my shelter. That leaves me shelterless. But what I can do is at least get under some kind of cover, and that's where the bivvy comes in. So I'm going to throw the bivvy up over off me, sit next to a tree. Hopefully this will blow over and I can work on getting a fire going. If not, that's how I spend the night, candling inside of a shelter. Hopefully I don't have to do that. Mylar on wet skin really sucks. So I'm gonna go over here, sit down next to a tree, guys. And I'll tell you what, couldn't have picked a better day to test this kit out. Awesome! Hey guys, so I thought I'd Blair Witch this a little bit. It is super moist in here, so the camera keeps fogging up. But it is literally, it's been raining for, I don't know, last 2.5, 3 hours, and it sucks. It sucks bad. I mean, I'm talking to you inside of a Mylar bag, and my camera lens keeps fogging up. So, lesson learned. You're gonna go somewhere, bring a tarp. That's a good lesson. But this is working. It's keeping me dry, at least. I mean, I'm soaking wet still, waiting for the fire to, or the rain to stop so I can go out there and start a fire. And I've actually fallen asleep inside of here a couple times. So, but anywho, I just wanted to bring you in here and let you see inside of my world here. And it's a little cramped, knees get a little tired, but sleeping's good. You know, you get the pitter patter off the outside of the Mylar. So anyways guys, I'm going to it's almost like it's trying to stop. It did this once before and then it came down again, so hopefully we'll be okay. Right now it's about 7:43, so, and I've got my live video feed to do here in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to put you back on the pedestal out there on my tripod and kind of wait the storm out a little bit here, see how much more we got. Hey guys, it is 8:30, and it finally kind of stopped raining. It's still sprinkling. So I have been in my bivvy for about that long, about 2.5 hours or so at least. I am still soaking wet. Pants, shirt is drenched, and but this bivvy is worth its weight in gold. Let me tell you, I didn't get any wetter, but I didn't dry out any, and it was super duper moist inside of here. So here's the deal. When it started to rain really hard, I shoved all my wood up underneath my shelter that I made. So that leaves me the choice, either pull all that wood out, crawl up underneath of there and sleep, or I just go ahead, pull the baby back up over top of me, and kind of rack out here next to this tree like I have been for the last couple hours, trying to stay dry. So, and honestly, I think that's what I'm going to do. Unless things change, I don't know. But I think I'm going to try to keep the wood dry. First thing in the morning, I got to get up, I got to get some water in me. So that means I'm going to have to boil some water, filter it and boil it. And hopefully my wood will be dry enough that I will be able to start a fire, no problem. No use in really doing it tonight anyways. So gonna go ahead and catch 40 winks. Probably won't be sleep, but it'll be sleep. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to wake up to kind of stretch out, and my knees are killing me. It's like the 3rd or 4th time I've been up. Actually, I had to go pee too, but it's still sprinkling. A little thirsty too. This is probably one of the most miserable nights I've ever spent outside ever. But the point is, I'm still surviving. I'm actually marginally dry, so I'm pretty good. But I'll catch you guys in the morning. That's probably the worst night's sleep I've ever had in my entire life. Right now, I am feeling every single day of all my 29 years. I gotta get a fire going. I gotta get some water in me. I'm starting to get headachy. And I know my tender is just is damp. It's gonna be a tough time to get a fire going. I don't know if you know, it's still raining. It's just sprinkling, but it's raining. But on the bright side of things, I survived. I lived. I'm dried off a lot more, and almost pretty much dry. Still damp in a couple spots, but I'm alive, and that's the important thing. So if I'm complaining, that must mean I'm still alive. Did I smooth it? No, I didn't smooth it. Did I rough it? Yeah. Rougher than 2 corn cobs upside down, backwards, sideways, in your twice with barbed wire on Tuesdays. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Preparation is always key whenever you're making a fire, especially in a wet weather fire. You've got to be prepped. You might only have one chance at making this, so you want to make sure that you take every single precaution possible to get your fire going. So I'm taking every single little itty bitty small, and just to give you an idea, that right there is possibly the biggest I would consider a small right there. And I'm putting them in my pile over here, and I'm going to get my tinder underneath of that in a second. I want to make sure that I have nice big bundles of this stuff. I've got to get this fire going because I need water. If I don't have water, then I'm not going to make good decisions. I'm going to be dehydrated. I'm going to be tired. I'm already tired. But I need to be able to get some water in me to keep hydrated. So let me get this processed. I'm going to bring my tinder on over in a second, and we'll turn you back on, and we'll get back into the fire making process. Alright guys, so the kit comes with these fire starter tabs. There's 4 of them in here. We're going to take one out. We are going to spread them apart a little bit. Just like that. I've got my ferro rod and striker. I've got all my damp tinder right here. Hopefully it will get going enough where I can get the curls going, and then from the curls I'll stack that going. Once that gets going, now you can start adding some bigger stuff on there, because now the heat's coming up through there. I can feel the heat up here, and it's hot. It's going to start drying out this wood. You guys might be thinking I broke one of the cardinal rules of putting wood on fire, but since this is all wet and that is a hot fire right now, I wanted to throw some of my bigger kindling and some of my smaller fuel up there to get it dried out. Because that fire really needs to start drying this wood out. So that's why I went ahead and threw all my wood on there to keep it, to get it started drying. Now we're going to go down here and get some water and filter it, and then we're going to throw it in the fire and boil it. Alright, so I'm going to use my bag here that the kit is held in, and I'm going to use it to filter the water going in, and then this is going to go over there and get set on the boil. Let's go over a few more things. So this thing kept me warm and dry all night long last night. Was it a comfortable sleep? No, but I survived. Yes, that's the point of this exercise, is to build trust in my equipment. I know I can trust this. If it wasn't raining, I probably would have laid down on the ground to use a log or a pair of boots for my pillow. Wasn't the case. It was just soggy all night long. Now, another thing you could use this for is you could have used this as a tarp. And I hesitated at doing that simply because I think that this served a better purpose for the purpose it was built than for me to go ahead re-engineer something that might fail in a situation where I would be even more miserable, or even at that point it could become a life-threatening situation. So that's why I kept it as a bivvy. Now, I told you earlier I had a headache. Water's on the boil. I've got the small first aid kit here. It's got some bug bite stuff in there. It's got a few other minor things here and there, but one of the things it has in here is aspirin or ibuprofen. and I'll be using that to knock off this headache because I need to make good decisions from here on out. Let's talk about the whistle. It's a great way of getting some audible noise around. If somebody's out looking for you and you really are lost, the survival whistle is going to come in pretty handy. And of course it all comes with these little loops on them like that, so you can hang them around your necklace. Like I have the light that I used all night long last night. As soon as I can make it work. There we go. So if somebody's looking for you at night, these things are pretty bright at night even. If you have overhead or anything like that, sunlight, you've got the signal mirror, and of course, you know, the mirror, if you get something in your eye, you got something, you want to see if there's something up the crack of your can, you might be able to use this to see if you got ticks somewhere, or bug bites, whatever the case may be. So there's that. And you know, I talked to Craig about this, the little button compass, because these things are so cheesy. But he made a very good point. He said, Madison, it's not to get a bearing. It's not to get a, I need to go 186 degrees and then go over here to 150 degrees. No, this is to get your north, south, east, west. That's it. So if you're in an area, you should already know, if you already have your game plan set, you should already know what your handrails are. You should already know what your backstops are. And this right here is just going to help you get your north, south, east, and west as a general direction. I've got the sun coming up behind me, so I know that that is kind of eastward over there. But let's just say it was still super duper bad outside. I can at least use this cheap button compass here to figure out my basic directions, my cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. Let that cool for as long as it takes to cool, and then I get some headache medicine in me, pack up my small but very useful kit, and then I'm going to head out of here and find help or home, one or the other. So as you're packing your stuff up, one more bit of good advice: take care of it. Because you don't know when that one night is going to turn into 2 nights or 3 nights or even 4 nights, and you might need this again in 10 hours, 12 hours, if you don't find help or you don't find your way out. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. So let's go over a few things. Number one, I proved that the kit works. You can survive with just the contents of this kit: the knife, the saw. Pretty much the bivvy saved my butt last night. You know, the boiling of the water, the fuel tabs that you use to strike with the ferro rod, all that stuff, you can survive with just that. But why would you? Come on guys, if you're going to go out in the wild, you're going to go out in the wilderness, prepare. Life would have been so much easier had I had a tarp last night. Anything, a poncho, something. It would have been much easier. So make sure if you're going to go out, you're prepared. That's number one. Number two, so I built that shelter last night, that one right there, and I didn't use it. I burnt a lot of calories. I spent a lot of time on it, and I don't know if it's a wise decision or not. I shoved my wood underneath of it, okay, and I think that might have helped me out this morning. I don't know, but I know I had no problem getting a fire started this morning. I don't know how the game would have went had I done it any differently, but I know that it worked. Before I go, guys, do me a favor. Check out my website, www.bombproofbushcraft.com. Guys, check me out on Facebook. That's Bombproof Bushcraft. And check me out on Instagram, which is bombproof_bushcraft. And guys, until next time, get out of the inside and into the outside. Take care. All right, guys, you want one of these kits? Well, I'll tell you what, there's 2 ways to do it. Number one, you can go to my website and buy one. Number two, you can like, share, subscribe, and then comment below on what you thought about this video, what you would have done differently with the pieces of kit in here, and that will enter you into the contest. This is going to be open for 1 week. Today is the 26th, so 1 week from today, Saturday, is when I will announce the winner. Sorry guys, it's only open to the US residents only because of shipping, but we're working on that shipping problem too. So like, share, subscribe, comment below, and hopefully you get lucky. If not, these are always available on my website. Thanks guys. Hey, why are you dragging that chain through the woods? Because I can't push it through the woods.